Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing amazing. Um, I am in an odd location. You're in Maine, Lisa. Good to have you. That's where you are. That's your home base. I am actually with my five grandkids and my oldest son and his wife with Lori. We are at the beach on the Georgia coast. It's been an interesting summer, giving you guys a little bit of time for the algorithms to catch up and join us here. But because we have one son with a baby in Texas having open heart surgery twice this summer, everybody's kind of in different places. So we're trying to do a tiny vacation with everybody instead of one big vacation with everybody at once. So I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. But because we are not just face to face at boot camps and together, we can be virtual on occasions too. So I do want to do one thing. If you have somebody that you would like to hear this, and I'm really excited to share this with you today. If you have somebody that you'd like to hear about, what does the path to success look like in our business? What's the model? What does it look like? If you've got somebody, go ahead and put their name in the comments, tag them. If they can join us now, great. If they're just going to join us later, that's fine too. But go ahead and do that. And if you want to say good morning, that's great. I see Lori and Lisa and Carol and Melinda, and so glad all you guys are here. Um, but this is going to be an exciting uh, thing we're going to share this morning. So, the path to success. This is our special training for the month. And what I really wanted to share with you is to make sure that you understand the journey that you're on. Um, I don't know. Am I frozen to everybody? I see Carol is sharing that I'm frozen. I'm on a pretty good Wi-Fi here, so someone else jump in. Christine from Indiana, hello. Uh, so y'all tell me if I'm still frozen. Somebody respond. Melinda, can you hear me? Okay, maybe we are frozen. Uh, no, okay. I'm getting information. So, okay, somebody says connection is unstable at the moment. So, um, keep me posted there, Beth. Am I back? You're good now. Okay, great. So maybe we can edit that out and make us a good clean video. So if you're going to be on a path to go somewhere, I want you to understand the journey you're on. I want you to know the destination where you're headed. And then you need to know the things you have to do to get there. And that's really important, um, I think, in our business model. Let me give you an example of something that's different, but it's a path you get on. So some of you know that back 4 years ago, I got COVID bad. I was in the intensive care for 18 days. They loaded me up on steroids, and those steroids affected my body's insulin sensitivity and how my body processed glucose because the steroids just spiked my system. And for the moment when I was on the peak of the steroids, I was diagnosed as like diabetic, and then it was type 2. And then I just got on this journey after educating and learning of Juice Plus, the four cores, really focusing in on the getting enough sleep, getting enough hydration, getting enough exercise, and a whole food, non-processed food diet. But I made a decision when I walk around and see people just, maybe eating something that has got a sugary taste to it or whatever. I made a decision in order to get off all medications and be like back to normal. I gave up all the white stuff. I wanted to be back to normal, and I gave up white bread, white flour, sugar, which is white rice, and I'd only eat things that are more focused on proteins and healthy carbohydrates and fruits and vegetables. But I'm off all my medication and I got all that back under control. But I had to pay. There was a path there was a success that I wanted, and I had to pay the price to get there. Okay. So that's what I want you to understand is there's a journey we're on together. And so most of you started your path to success in the Juice Plus business with an invitation. I know I did. We were invited by a pastor's wife that we didn't know, but a friend of ours knew and referred us to them because Lori wanted to stay at home. So there was an invitation by somebody that was willing to reach out and grab us by the hand and take us to a destination that was higher and greater and better than where we were. And I think most people in our business start somewhere like that. I think, can any of you all just in the chat comments, can you put the name of the person that gave you that invitation? Who was the person that maybe you'd like to say thank you to that put that invite out there to you? Maybe you want to list the people that you've invited, because we're going, as we talk about this journey, there was an invitation to you, but in order for you to reach the destination you want, there needs to be lots of invitations from you. Okay. So you received an invitation, but in order to achieve where I believe you really want to go, we're going to need to have a lot of invitations coming out from you. Okay. Now, I love books, whether I audible them or I read them or I read them on my iPad. I subscribe to a service called Wiser, which gives me summaries of a lot of books, and I can decide if I want to dig deeper. Great. I'm so glad y'all are putting names in here. Isn't that cool to think about those people that invited you? Erica says, thank you to Brandy Foss. Brandy's amazing. The 100X Leader. I know both of these guys that wrote this book, Jeremy Kubicek and Steve Cockram. One's in Oklahoma and one's in England. But they wrote a book about, you know, like, was it Grant Cardone or somebody who's got the 10X stuff? He does 10X. This is 100X. How do you really become the 100X, the magnificent leader? The subtitle is How to Become Someone Worth Following. And I would love for you to read this book. It's absolutely awesome. But it takes me back to the previous picture. It's like, that's not Mount Everest right there, obviously. But this book talks about you being a Sherpa. And a Sherpa is someone who, yes, they have climbed to the top, but their journey now is not for themselves. They want to create a tribe of people they've helped to get to the top. So the question is, as you're on this journey and this path to success, and you're realizing that you had an invitation and you're going to have to give out some invitations, my question to you is, are you willing to be, are you a Sherpa yet? Do you have a Sherpa? So that's that mentor-mentoree role that's so prevalent and so important in our business. And I like to use the example, and many of you who've been in Sunday school class or are committed to reading your Bible or studied biblical principles, there's a character that I love to follow in Scripture whose name was Paul. And he was converted from a hideous life of persecuting Christians to really becoming the father of the modern day church. He was the evangelist. But if we study Paul for a minute, Paul knew he had a calling on his life, and he took that calling and he did the best he could to be a leader, doing as much as he could himself. But then Paul was also really good at finding local leaders in other communities and empowering them and giving them the ability to take on that role and lead in that local market. Okay. So one of the things we want to focus in on is how that relates to our business. So who do you have that's the Timothy that you're pouring into? And as you're growing your business, we're the mentor-mentoree. You're actually both a Paul and a Timothy. So Paul was pouring into Timothy, like in the church in Ephesus. He wanted to open up that new market. Like maybe you've got a contact that's in, I'm just going to pick a city, let's say Wichita, Kansas. But you need to groom them and get them ready. And so you would pour into them, and you would invite them, and then you'd pour into them. And that Barnabas role, these are kind of the how I see the Sherpa unfolding. Barnabas is the perennial buddy that our founder, Jay Martin, talked about. Everybody's got to have a buddy. Barnabas was Paul's running mate. He was the shoulder to lean on, the shoulder to cry on, the encourager, the person that walked down that road with him. And, some of you may want to put in the comments, who's your buddy? It could be your upline, could be somebody in your downline, it could be a sideline person. But do you have a buddy in this business that's kind of like your running mate? Who is that, and how does that feel to you today, because you need one. There's going to be days when you're not having the best day and someone else is going to lift you up. And there's going to be days when they're not having the best day and somebody needs to lift that person up, and that could be you. Okay. So as you're on this journey and this pathway to success in our business, these roles are important. Okay. So you need an invitation. You need to be someone worth following. This book will help you understand that. Sherpa, if you got into the mountaintop, who helped you get there, and who are you going to help get there? And then the example of Paul and Barnabas really explains how it unfolds. I mean, just take some time and study how the church has grown for the last 2,000 years plus. I'll tell you a funny, I've told it before, some of you have heard it, but does anybody know for certain who started network marketing? Pause. Where did it start? Who was the founder? I'll tell you why I use a lot of biblical examples. Jesus, 2,000 years ago, started the church, started that movement. And some people say it doesn't work, but he still gets 10% today. Think about that. But no, there's so many examples of Paul and Barnabas. That was my funny. Sorry if that didn't make you laugh. Okay. So we're getting somewhere here, but I got to get your mind ready because I want you to see this. So you've got to be willing to receive an invitation and give out invitations. Be the Sherpa, be the leader worth following. But you on your destination, and you have to help other people, but you on your destination, you have to know where you're going. Maybe you're in a season like that season when I was on all kind of medicines coming out of COVID, and I did not like being in that desert of what I considered to be not in charge of my health. That COVID just whacked me over the head, okay? But I saw an oasis. I learned, I read, I knew that there was a place to get back to, so I worked hard. How many of you would say maybe you're in a desert place? You can see the oasis. You know where you want to go. Tommy Newberry says, he's the gentleman who wrote the 4-8 principle, and he and I wrote a book together called I Call Shotgun, which was 68 biblical principles for you to teach your kids before they leave home. But he has a quote that I love, and it's tomorrow changes today. Yeah, Melinda's like Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. You have to see where you're going, or you can just wander. The path to success always has a destiny. The journey is the biggest part of it. But just like the mule pulling that plow before we had modern equipment and GPS, they put blinders on the mule so he could only look straight ahead because he had to stay focused on his destiny in order to plow a straight line. You have to know your destiny to know what true north is for you while you're on your journey. Okay? And so as those of you that are in this business, I think you would realize that probably as you see and focus and see that tomorrow and you get clearly focused on that, there are going to be lots of steps along the way. It's not going to be just jump into your oasis. There's a desert you have to walk through. There's some things you have to do in order to have what you desire. So that's that pathway to success. And in our business, every step's not going to be the same. Sometimes you're going to need that Sherpa, that mentor. Maybe the steps are, you have 10 steps in a row to the same size and you get in stride and all of a sudden you have a jump and a leap. So we have to know what the pieces are, the pathways to get where we want to go. Now, I have a question for you before I put this next slide up here. I want you to think for a minute. Why did you get in this business? I love Wendy Campbell's. If you go to the Campbell team boards, I know it's there somewhere. Somebody might be able to post it. But 30 reasons why I love Juice Plus. There's so many reasons. But I believe no matter where you are in this journey, if you're brand new today or if you are someone who's been on this journey for a while and maybe you've reached tremendous success, maybe you're stuck. My 18-month-old granddaughter, she always says she's tuck. She'll, if something's not going her way and she can't get her little stuffed animal out of a crack, if she can't get up in a chair she wants to get into, something is like, okay, I want to go somewhere and I can't get there. She's tuck, and she'll keep saying tuck until you come get her untuck. So some of you may be on this journey and you feel stuck, and you can't get to where you want to go, but you still know where what that is and what that looks like. And I'm going to address this for you too. But I believe, if we're honest, whether it's like that $1,000 a month that Lori wanted to be able to stay at home because we had a small goal in the beginning, or is it somebody that wants to be able to leave their full-time career and over time build a business that replaces their full-time income, or is it somebody that really wants to take this opportunity and do what Lori and I did? And a lot of you on the phone, you're creating generational, life-changing income for you and your families. But here's the trick. Here's the ticket. Here's the trick. What we offer that's unique. Downstairs, I was in the parking deck where we are, parking lot. There's a car down here. It's got, had an Uber. It was a brand new Bronco, had an Uber sign on it. There's so many ways in America, in this amazing country in which we live. I love our country. There's so many amazing ways to make money, but there's one unique thing that our business model brings to the table. And I believe when you got in this business and you were looking at your oasis, okay? And we all could have a little bit, the end in mind could be different for all of us, but I really believe as you were looking at that, I believe the one unique thing about our business, whether it was to consistently hit the $1,000 a month or the $10,000 a month, their life-changing generational family income. Here's what's so attractive about our business model, is it's a business model where you can make money tomorrow off what you did today. The people, the connections, the activities, the transactions. You make money tomorrow off what you did today. And that's what you'll experience first. You make money next week off what you did last week. You make money next month off what you did last month. Next year off what you did last year. And I can say the next decade off what you did the previous decade. I can sit here and tell you somebody, I'm not going to name names, but somebody I had coffee with at Dunkin' Donuts 36 years ago. And I still make, 4-figure monthly income off of that initial conversation that was coffee and on a holiday, on a Thanksgiving morning. My wife thought I was crazy. So what I want you to understand is the reason you got in this business is to create that faithful, consistent, repeatable income because you're not doing all the work yourself. Sometimes I'd like to say you're not trading hours for dollars. But when it comes down to it, the path to success in our business means that you have gotten to a point where you understand that 3%, that 3% portion of our compensation plan, which is amazing, that's what's going to fund your tomorrow, give you the opportunity to not trade hours for dollars. And the way I look at it is part of this journey, what I love doing is helping somebody see and uncover their God-given purpose that's unique, the calling on their life, what they're passionate about, what they're excited about. Help them uncover that, and then help them build a business that funds, that frees them up, that gives them choices and options to pursue that calling to their fullest. Because I see so many people, they don't want to do this. They don't even mean to do this. Sometimes they're blinded to it, but they get stuck creating a paycheck, knowing that they keep saying one day, if only, they could pursue what they're passionate about. But the pursuit of the paycheck dominates them. There are even industries out there where people are coaxed into thinking that if I can just work as hard as I can, if I can just sock away and save as much as I can into my 401k, into my retirement plan, when I'm 65, I'm going to have a nest egg that I can go do what I want to do. Now I'm 62. That's 3 more years for me. That seems like an eternity to enjoy life, to wait 3 more years. But I see people in their 30s, in their 40s with the mindset of let's create the paycheck, fund the retirement account. And when we're 65, we're going to buy a boat and enjoy life. Why not do that now? And that's so we have to build that 3% money. In our business, it's called a performance bonus that's paid out multi-generations off of who's gotten an invitation from you. Who have you invited to be on your team to make this happen? Now, we're going to get somewhere. So does everybody see the little oasis in the upper left? And what I really want you to see on this slide is that long journey, the long road headed to the oasis. What does it look like to survive the journey? If that's where we want to go, that 3% is going to fund your tomorrow. What does it take for you to survive the journey? Is that 3% going to fund this oasis for you right now, day one? No, it's not. There's a price to pay. There's things you have to do in order to enjoy the benefits and the fruits of this business long term, which means that 3% money funds your business. It's, when that becomes the largest part of your paycheck, that's when you know you've built a business that doesn't force you to trade hours for dollars. It gives you options, choices, and the freedom to do and be what God's called you to be. Okay? Be purpose-driven, actually, is the right term. So what does that journey look like? What are you going to have to do? Or how does our compensation plan, if that's where you want to do, what does the Juice Plus compensation plan offer you to make sure you can get there? How do you get to that oasis? What are the tools and resources that are packed up for you as you're on the journey? So while you're building you got in this business to build your business so that the 3% off not just what you do, but off those that received an invitation from you to join you, that you've equipped and trained and become a Sherpa for. What are the things that you're going to have at your disposal to make sure you can be around to get there? So I think the word entitled is not a bad word always, okay? But we've thrown bad words around about the emerging generation sometimes that they feel entitled. Well, they've had Google. They've been entitled to information their whole life, that's for sure. I read a book called Generation IY by Tim Elmore, and it talks about how does a generation think and operate that's never not had Google to answer all their questions. And now we've got a whole nother generation of people that have never had their AI robot to be their assistant, So there's entitlement, yes, maybe, but it's an attitude of when people join you. This is not any generation. But when someone gets in our business and this is what they want, if they feel entitled to get that from day one, they don't understand. They have wrong expectations. But they also don't understand our compensation plan because there are 3 key ingredients that pay you today and pay you while you're on this journey. They pay you so that you can get to there. Okay? So let's break down and look at those 3 things. Sales profit, commissions, and title rewards are things that you have total control over. It doesn't totally mean you inspiring, motivating, inviting someone else to join you. You can determine how many customers you have. This month, if you get 3 or more, you get double sales profit. Commissions. That's what you earn off yourself, up to 15% off what you sell. And you want to make sure you're a sales coordinator or you're missing out on commissions. That's a whole nother part of this journey, and I'll talk about in a minute. So the commissions is what you earn off what you sell, but you also make the difference in the commission level you're at and somebody on your team that's at a different commission level. So that's something you can affect right now. You can get the full commission on what you sell, but as you invite in Sherpa, you mentor, you lead the next generation of leaders under you, you get paid commissions on them as they rise to the top. And you help them build their business and they become a part of that 3% base that's your goal. And then title rewards. The company's so smart. If you go back to this journey and imagine there were X's or spots along this journey that you were going to have to go through to get to your oasis. So every step of the way, every step and piece that you take, every step you take, the company is saying, we're going to give you a title reward. If you go back and look at our stair steps, ask the person that you consider kind of to be your Sherpa, your leader, someone that you decided that was worth following. Ask them to do a call with you and go over the phase 1 guide to our compensation plan, because that will explain to you the stair steps of over $100,000 in title rewards, but those are earmarked to make sure you stay on the path. Every time you progress and hit another level or another step to receive a new title in our company, the company says, because you did this, we're going to pay you a title reward. But it's also a marker. It's so how you know where to put your foot on the next step of the ladder, the next part of the trail, okay? So we got all this going on. Sales, profit, commissions, and title rewards that you are going to use and build your business while your destiny is to get to the 3%. Actually, tomorrow night, I know some of you that are hearing this in replay, you won't hear this in time, but on Wednesday night, the 19th of June, I'll be doing the call with Stacy Whitmer, our training call, and it's going to be about qualifying your business. This is important. This is the number one most important component of our compensation plan, but you have to build your business in order for it to be the blessing in your life. And once you build it, it's that consistent, faithful income that comes into you because of what you've done, not because of necessarily what you're doing in the immediate. Okay? Does that make sense? So you've got to learn to be good at those three things, and you've got to send out enough. There have to be, once you've accepted your invitation, you become good at those three things, and then you have to send invitations out. You might want to call it recruiting. You might want to call it attracting. You've got enough people have to receive an invitation from you until you find the 5 amazing leaders on your team that you're going to take to the mountaintop. That's how you maximize your earnings in our business. It's not complicated. Okay? But here's the deal. And then I'm not going to go into detail on this. I'm about to film a new video for you that's going to be on our YouTube channel. We're redesigning our YouTube channel. We're going to put videos on there that are to help equip you on the journey, to recruit, to inspire, to attract. And as we're talking about path to success, getting off to the right start matters. You know, some people, when they get off to the wrong start, they never recover. So you need someone you trust, someone worth following, that's your Sherpa, your mentor, your leader, your Paul. You say, hey, I want to be Timothy. I want to launch the church in Ephesus. I want to launch my business in this town, but I need coaching. I need mentoring. I need someone that's gone before me that can hold me accountable. So the right start matters. It doesn't mean you can't recover, but everybody that's been successful in this business, they put the plow in the ground and they tug hard and break the soil. For some season, they put in that extra effort to launch their business. I'd rather see you do it your first 90 days. The first 90 days, the company has a plan for you to do a couple things, okay? Listen to me real quick. To reach the first level, you want to do that your first 10 days. To reach the second level, your first 30 days. And to reach the top commission level, that 15% commission level, you want to do that within your 90 days. It's all laid out for you. It's all spelled out. The way I teach it is very easy. You need to get your family on a journey towards being healthier, flooding your body with fruits and vegetables and all that Juice Plus brings to the table with our core 4: sleep, exercise, hydration, whole food, non-processed food diet. And you want to share that journey with 3 families. Use our foundation so the kids get it free until they're 26 years old. That would take you to the second level. And if you would just get each of those 3 families to share with 3 families that they know, siblings, parents, neighbors, 3 families that could get the product free for their kids till they're 26. And all you would have done is you personally would have influenced 3 families to get them healthier. And then you could influence more, but you could get those 3 to each influence 3, which would help pay for their products, set them to the second commission level. You'd be at the top commission level in our business by only influencing 12 families to get on a healthier journey and have their kids get the product free until they're 26. Pretty amazing, right? And you'd make over $2,000, well over $2,000 your first 90 days. But better than that, you're positioned to start getting your 3% performance bonus after the first 30 days. You're at the top commission level with our company. You're not leaving any money on the table. And You should have a qualified business where that 3% money is starting to pour into your bank account every month. Start small, but it's going to grow because that's what you want. You want that consistent, faithful income from that performance bonus to fund your business so that you can go make the life you want to make. That's what that's all about. So get with the person that's, some of you put in here, who your mentor was, who you were thankful you got an invitation from. Go back and make sure they've shown you what that first 90 days looks like. If you're not at the top commission level called sales coordinator, you are leaving money on the table. You need to fix that. If you don't have about 12 families or about 25 to 30 customers on Juice Plus, on our trio, our superfood, you're missing out on your 3% bonus. You're not qualified. You need to make sure you get that done, okay? So the right start matters. And here's the big deal. It's the right start for you. But guess what a Sherpa does? They've always done before what they're trying to get someone else to do. They know the path. They know how to do it. And when you set this 90-day plan in place for you and you start your new person there, that new person, when they send the invitation out to the next person that's going to join them, that person says, well, just tell me what you did. I'll do exactly what you did. Because you can model it. You believe it. You've done it. You've been there before. You have surfaced to the mountaintop, and you can be their Sherpa to get them there too. You know what? You can be a Sherpa for somebody's 90-day journey. Somebody brand new that doesn't know how to do this. It may not be like climbing Mount Everest, but you're going to take them somewhere they've never been before. Hold their hand. Be available. They've joined you. You invited them to join you. You didn't invite them to get links from you. You didn't invite them to watch YouTube. You invited them to join you on a journey. So be there and be someone worth following, okay? All right. That's basically the end of the training. Let me just give you some things. I like to remind people because I forget. What's going on right now? Well, I am, in addition to what the company's doing with doubling your sales profit, we're running a summer sample challenge right now. We're challenging everybody to get 3 samples out per week. Grab one of our partner success boxes. If you don't have some samples, that gives you 5 samples of everything. You can go to juiceplus.com, click the search magnifying glass icon, just type in partner success box. It's not a customer product, it's just for partners. So you have to search for it. Order that, you'll get 5 of each. You'll get PV on that. Everybody ought to have a partner success box. So once you do that, go to makealife.com/summer challenge. Anybody can sign up. We're going to give out amazing prizes. We have a winner for our first week that we'll announce in a minute. Our sample bags that are customized and logos are on the way. They'll be here any day now, and we'll start sending those out to our winners. Here's the special the company's doing. June, you get $52 gift card. Anybody you send an invitation to, how many people are going to get an invitation from you? So those you invite, their $52 application fee is virtually waived because when they sign up, they're going to get a $52 gift card towards their first order. So that it doesn't cost them anything to join because they get $52 off their first order. Heat up your earnings. I talked about this. If you get just at least 3 customers this month, you double your sales profit. Get 3 trio, quad, gummy, or superfood orders on a reorder, and you get to double your sales profit from your first order all the way to whatever you do this month, okay? It's amazing. Here's our leaderboard. Just going to tell you, Chris, this is the first week, okay? And this is not everybody. These are just the top 5. Look how many samples were given out the first week. Chris did 45, Bob 36, Carol 32, Mary 31. Carol G's on this call. I saw her. She did 27. So Chris won the prize the first week, okay? So we're going to keep tracking that every week. All you got to do is sign up. We'll have weekly accountability emails, and we'll give out prizes every week. June events. We got one more event coming in June. We're going to finish out this month strong. We take every month. We grab the start to launch it well. We work the activities. We get equipped with the training in the middle of the month. And then the end of the month, we roll up our sleeves and we don't let procrastination close out the month. We use urgency to finish our goals, finish what we started, because we want to be finishers, not quitters. We finish what we started, and we use urgency by rolling up our sleeves, getting with our mentor, grabbing a hold of our Sherpa's belt, and letting them take us to the top where we want to go. But we do that call at the end of the month to finish each month strong, so you can join us there. That's on the 25th at 10:30. Lots of boot camps this summer. I went to Branson. It was amazing. Waco was amazing. I know Melinda on here was in Waco. There's, I think maybe this weekend even or next weekend, the summer in the Rockies. The Buckeye Boot Camp's coming up, and I'll be with these amazing speakers at the Blue Ridge Boot Camp, July 18th through 20th. And I'll tell you all a little secret. I am so about the right people being there that I've told everyone who is already coming to Blue Ridge, who has already got a ticket, we have about 50 more spots. And if you call someone who's already got a ticket, anybody who's already coming, they can bring a guest. They can send an invitation to someone to join them for only $150. That's a $65 discount off the regular price. So we're doing that to fill those last 50 seats, to have the right people in the room, because you've got the right speakers to hear the right message. So go to BlueRidgeBootCamp.com, call somebody, call a leader that you know that's already coming, and they can get you that special price as them inviting you as their guest, okay? The podcast we're doing, we just recorded another podcast episode yesterday. We did one on stories, but we have a new podcast that comes out the second and fourth Thursday of every month. And we're doing some of those live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And that happened to be one of the ones we did live yesterday. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was Monday this week. And you can do Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but the podcast is life. It's what you make it. It's not life. It's what happens. It's about being intentional, taking control of the destiny you want. Kind of what we talked about today. Pathway to success, not just hoping it happens, you make it happen, okay? In the fall, one of my favorites that led me in worship growing up, she's an amazing entertainer. She's Dove Awards and all those kind of things. I don't even have all of her stats in front of me. She's going to be leading our worship gathering in Indianapolis in September. So you can go to the website. You can go to makealife.com/worship, I think. Beth, is that right? And they can be added to our email list for prayer breakfast. Or Beth can put in here how you can find that out. And then some of you have felt a cattle prod that we do on Mondays. Beth is amazing helping us do this. It's every Monday because we're talking about being intentional, guys. Every Monday, it's like inspiration, motivation, just a nudge to say, hey, the week's starting. Let's plan it and not just hope it goes well. Let's make it go well. So if you would like to get a text on Monday mornings just to hold you accountable to planning your week and being intentional and making your week happen, you can text Wake Up to that number. You can send it to anybody on your team. And they can stop, cancel anytime they want to. Okay? Beth, just put that in there. It is makealife.com/worship, and more details to follow and details to come. Okay? And then if you need to find me, the website makealife.com is a great place. I'm happy and here to help. You can schedule coaching calls and team calls and access my calendar on there. You can find me anywhere on social media or online, just at Kurt Beavers. And join us tomorrow night if you want to, or if you can. And I'll pull up something real quick. I think I can find it. Oh, it's in boards. I know where it is. Boards. Hope you guys are on the company board. That is Stacy Whitmer and I are doing the training call tomorrow night. Let's get qualified. And if you want me to move that up just a little bit, and maybe Beth can type that in the box too. Beth, can you just type in the https://zoom.us with that ID number, and then put that password training in the text here. And Beth will add that in just a minute, but I'll leave it on the screen for a second. But that's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. My brain thinks Eastern. The flyer says Central because our company is in Central Time Zone, our home office. Okay? But you all have been a blessing to my life this morning, just seeing you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been maybe as interactive with your comments. I'll reply to some of those later. But I hope you enjoyed this. And do check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/makealife. It's going to get more and more organized. We've got great plans to make sure that we fill the gaps between the amazing stuff our company's doing with the rhythms of the first Tuesday kickoff call every month, with the second Thursday being a call for prospects where they can join us in what we're doing and what the things that are going on right now in the month. And then the third Thursday night, like this Thursday, is going to be a training every month. And just to give you, I mean, you got to know these things, guys. If you're going to invite people to be on a journey with you, you need to know what's going on. You know, the most successful tribe in the history of the Bible, the most successful tribe that God put in scripture, and he said these were the most successful of the tribes of Israel. It was the tribe of Issachar. Funny name, yes. But do you know why Issachar was known to be so successful? It says that the leaders of the tribe of Issachar, they knew the signs of the times and they acted accordingly. Do you know what's going on this month? Do you know when the next call that you can invite somebody to plug into to join you on your journey because you know the path of success you're headed towards? You want the 3% to fund your life, your business, your purpose, and your calling, but you understand that you have to use sales profit, commissions, and title rewards to create the income while you're on the journey to arrive at that destination. Be an Issachar. Be that Sherpa. A Sherpa is an Issachar. A Sherpa is someone who knows what's going on around them and they act accordingly. If you do that, people will follow you. You'll be someone worth following. Okay? Let's get to your destination together. I want you to get to that destination. But let's make sure you're doing the things today so that you can survive the journey to celebrate and have the joy. Okay? God bless. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.